Hey everybody, welcome right back to the channel. Everybody, welcome right back to the channel. Hey, today's been it's gonna be a great day at NFL today, man. It's gonna be fun today. Start of the playoffs. Uh, Week 18 was wild, was amazing too in the NFL. Greatness happened, and stuff like that. But before we get into everything, before we get into the games on today, um, before we get into the playoffs, and before we get into talking about all the games that happened in Week 18, my name is Isaiah Austin, and welcome back to the IDA Kings video production channel. Okay, if you like the channel, please subscribe. If you like the videos, hit the like button on the videos, and if you want to know and you would like to know when I post and upload new videos, hit that bell notification for me. Okay. All right. So going into it, man, a lot of things happened. Um, a lot of stuff happened before we got to the playoffs, right? The Panthers and Buccaneers had a great game on Saturday, real low scoring game, defensive game. A lot of crazy things happened. Some turnovers happened in the game. Both quarterbacks, I think, had an interception. A lot of different things, a lot of different wild stuff happened. The Panthers, there was a lot of things that they basically got screwed a little bit. There was an offensive pass interference that should not have been called on the receiver. In that game, there was also a defender literally grabbing on the face mask of a receiver they didn't call for the Panthers. I mean, you can go down the list of things. There was also a time where they called a backwards pass. The receiver could have ran the ball for more yards and they stopped it because they said it was incomplete. And they didn't give him a chance to go adjust the down again or whatever. So it was just a bad situation. The Buccaneers ended up getting a big win though. It was 16-14. Okay, that was on Saturday, the 3rd of January. Another heck of a game. Defensively was wild. The Seahawks could have scored more points, to be honest with you. They could have gotten it maybe 26 total. They ended up getting 13, but they shut down the 49ers. The 49ers had a few opportunities to score. One time, there was a pass tipped at the line, though, from a Seattle defender, D lineman. It was so the ball ended up being behind, came out funky after the tip. See, Christian McCaffrey could have caught the ball still, you know, but they ended up leading to a pick, and they just had trouble scoring from there, man. And Seattle ended up winning. They ended up having the number one seed throughout all of the NFC playoffs. So they got to go through Seattle. People got to go through Seattle. So those games were great defensively and stuff like that. Even the 49ers defensively wasn't bad either, too, by the way. They were solid as well. But, the Seahawks definitely missed like I think like 2 or 3 field goals in that game. So they could have had more points. On Sunday, also the Texans ended up beating the Colts 38-30. It was a really good game, close game. The Texans ended up finding a way to get pull away, win 8 points. Okay, the Cowboys got destroyed in their last game of the season by the Giants. Okay, the Giants are, I think, locked into the 7th draft pick or so in the NFL draft. The Giants had a great game in that game. The Browns ended up getting a big win against the Bengals. They're, I think, top 5 in the draft or top 6 or something like that. Beating the Bengals. Myles Garrett ended up getting that sack. He broke the record. He broke that record on less snaps played for all the other people who held that record. Like Strahan, T.J. Watt, stuff like that. So that was a really heck of a game. The Falcons ended up getting a win against the Saints, which pushed the Panthers into the playoffs instead of the Buccaneers, because the Panthers needed the Falcons to win and they got that win. They ended up winning by 2. The Vikings ended up beating the Packers 16-3, but the Packers were sitting people dealing with injury, stuff like that. So that wasn't as big of a shocker. The Jaguars ended up winning the AFC South, dominating the Titans 41-7 in that game. Okay. And then the Rams ended up dominating the Cardinals. Okay, I believe they're the 5th seed I think they're the 5th seed. In the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah, the Rams are the 5th seed, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that the Broncos end up getting that 1 seed throughout the AFC, beating the Chargers 19-3. it was tight a little bit. The Chargers gave them a lot they could handle. I ain't gonna lie, they gave them a lot they could handle. Watching that game, it was a lot. They end up getting that win, beating them. The Raiders, I believe, have the number 1 pick in the draft, and they still ended up beating the Chiefs 14-12. Great defensive game as well. A lot of people injured for the Chiefs as well, though, and stuff like that. The Patriots end up still have the second seed, dominating the Dolphins 38-10. A lot of gotten dominated. The Commanders, Eagles. The Commanders ended up beating the Eagles. The Eagles could have gotten the second seed, but they wanted to rest their players, and I understand it. I mean, of course, you probably want that second seed because you want to play the Green Bay Packers more than you would want to play. I believe they go play the 49ers, but I'm actually glad about that matchup because that's going to be a fun matchup. I think the Bears and 49ers would have been a fun one too. The 49ers dealing with some injuries too, so we don't know how healthy they'll be by the time. I believe this Sunday is coming up, so we'll see though. The Lions ended up beating the Bears too, which that's why the Eagles could have got the second seed because the Bears ended up losing by 3 points. A little shocker there. But yeah, they lost to the Lions. The Lions did a great job. The Lions did a great job getting stops when need be. They were really controlling the game throughout most of it. That the Bears started rallying back, almost called back up and won. But the Lions ended up getting that win. The Bills dominating their last home game of the regular season. At the very minimum, I think it's probably their last regular season in their football stadium that they have now, because I think the Bills are, the 6th seed, so it's gonna be hard for them to have a home playoff game. I don't think they're gonna have a home playoff game unless the 7th seed wins all the way to the AFC Championship. If they win all the way to the AFC Championship, go to the AFC Championship game. So I don't think that's happening. So the Bills basically played, in my opinion, their last home game in that building, and they're going into a new stadium, and they beat the Jets. This game was really, really wild, up and down affair. Ravens or Steelers. This was a fun game. Fun game, man. The Ravens were up in the game, I think 10-3 or something, and then the Steelers got some points, started scoring more. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson was really great in the game, along with my man Aaron Rodgers was great. Lamar Jackson threw a real good pass to likely to put them in the great field goal position, and they kicked the field goal. He was kind of down the middle a little bit, maybe a little bit to the left, a little bit. Okay, kicked that field goal with veered, I believe, to the right. Ended up losing the game, and the Steelers ended up winning, and that led to Jim Harbaugh. Oh wait, I think John Harbaugh. I get him confused. That led to him being fired or let go. And there you go. But that was a fun game, man. Both teams. That's one of the, that's a conversation for game of the year. But speaking of that, a lot of coaches got fired, man. Like Coach McDaniels got fired. Coach Stefanski got fired. Coach Harbaugh got fired. A lot of different coaches got fired. Just a lot of different ones got let go. Got relieved of duties, things of that nature. A lot of them. I know Tennessee Titans, they fired their head coach. I think he was there for only a year. The Falcons fired their head coach after only being there for 2 years. A lot of coaches got fired. I think it was about 6 or 8 of them, depending on, you know what I mean? I'm shocked the Buccaneers, I don't think they fired their head coach at all. It was a little wild, a little crazy overall. But going into the playoffs, though, I mean, this is gonna be fun though. I'm telling you, man, 4:30 today. It's gonna be fun. Panthers versus Rams. I know that people are expecting the Panthers to lose, but that's a sneaky one because the Panthers did beat the Rams this season, so that's a sneaky one. Okay, that's gonna be on Fox. Another good game. This was gonna be fire. Hopefully Jordan Love comes back. Bears versus Packers. Diggs, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs' brother, is gonna be in the playoffs playing in this game. I'm excited for this game right here on Prime Video. That's only on Prime Video, by the way. So if you don't have Prime Video, it's gonna be hard for you to watch it. So those are the 2 games coming on today. There's other games coming on Sunday. A triple header. We'll talk about that in Monday's game in the next video. But overall, man, going back to the coaching fires, there's going to be some I think a lot of coaches I think there those a lot of different coaches are gonna have opportunities to be coaches again. So, you know what I'm saying? Especially Stefanski and you know, Harbaugh, man, they're gonna have opportunities, gonna get interviews, things of that nature. Stefanski, I think, did an interview with the Ravens, so that's gonna be pretty. That's gonna be interesting if they hire him. And then he is a two-time coach of the year. Harbaugh, man, he asked for demands for teams. I think 20 million a year, 10 million, 10 million, I think a year for or 10 million to get the for coaches to do the coaching staff correctly the way he wants it. Full control of the roster, and then I say I believe the authority of who the GM is hired in. Uh, I don't think that for him. I don't think that's a bad list. Um, the 20 million a year. I think only one coach is getting that, but I mean, I don't see why not. You know, there's definitely teams that's gonna want them like New York. You know, the Browns. They're gonna be willing to pay him. I believe. I also believe he wants control of the roster. What? Listen, he the coach, so he got to coach him, and the coaching staff has to coach him. So you know, he should have. To me, coaches, you should have definitely authority, full authority over the active roster, or be over the roster and overcuts and all that stuff. Like they the ones I gotta coach them. You know what I'm saying? So that's common sense though. But some of these owners, man, some of the owners don't want to be honest about one thing, and it's real simple. The reason it's simple. They want to be in control and want to be in the spotlight, especially owners like Jerry Jones. So I mean, so that's probably the problem right there. But I think the Browns would give them that, and I think the Giants would too. I think the Giants are a little more stable in different situations. The Browns, they still have a lot of uncertainties. I think Shador could be a good quarterback, but again, we got to get They got to get Dylan Gabriel healthier, and Shador see actually have a legit QB competition. See how they develop in the offseason. Also, but there's other things too. Deshaun Watson, uh, I think still is under contract, the fully guaranteed. So there's just a lot of wild stuff. There's gonna be a QB competition like it's crazy. I think out there. Um, Also, they gotta make sure that they get the roster right. Maybe make some trades. They need to rebuild it from the ground up, in my opinion. Um, and it's real simple. I think so. We're gonna see how that goes. But overall, man, the playoffs are here. Can't wait. Next video we're gonna be talking about Sunday games. But also, man, in other videos, we're gonna talk about college basketball. Some wild stuff happened. Today's some wild stuff happening already. You know, I mean, there's been wild stuff happening in college basketball for a little bit. Last few games, last few weeks, especially the last few these last few games. You know, it's been crazy. The NBA's been really, really interesting too, with different games, different stuff like that. So it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty interesting. And then also the two playoff games that happened in college football. Uh, Excited to talk about those things and stuff like that. But appreciate y'all, man. Again, like I said, if y'all like the videos, hit the like button on them. If you support the channel, hit the subscribe button on the channel. And then also, if you want to know when I post and upload new videos, hit the bell notification to know when I do that. All right, y'all have a good one. Peace. Appreciate y'all.